that I keep going back to is it seems like quite often EDC is asked for things, and it's very much that's your money, y'all's money. No, you know, and we're told no. And even with community center things, we're told no. And when we have to sit here and decide on the last council meeting if we would approve the raise on the poison control, the toxic ban that comes out, and we're debating, do we have that money, do we not, how do we do this, and yet we're losing money on things, but we have hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting here. I want to encourage this council to continue to explore that idea, because we do not have to be as strapped as we are currently. And I feel like our council and our boards are not working hand in hand and complementing each other. Now you can make your motion.
Well, I mean, for the record, it was posted, I'm not trying to pick on you here, but it was posted as an EDC meeting and a council meeting last night.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I had a prior board meeting.
I know.
But,
I'm just saying that it was, and that's why Johnny was there, and
I think we're always going to have some disagreements, and that is okay. So, that is what makes us stronger, as long as in the end we have a win-win situation.
Sure. And in defense of the EDC, I mean, they did buy the city asked them to buy the piece of property on Baylor. They did. They were asked to, that it was more of an EDC play, but the John Knox, or the parsonage next door that did that, you know, the end of Meandering Road there, you know, bought that and all. It's a feature play. So I don't want it to sound like we're not working in tandem, because there's many things where it is working.
We're paying for a lot of things to help the city, and there's no reason for that to stop either. But right now, we seem to have a new mood that every time the city doesn't have money, we go to EDC for it. EDC has money because they've been very careful with how it's been invested, in my opinion.
And I disagree with that.
There's a difference between saving money.
We're talking about waiving a fee that's for no services rendered, basically.
Right.
What did we charge the school system when they built their buildings? What did they pay in permit fees, and who covered that?
I think it was $40,000, and then
It's a lot.
I thought all those fees were waived.
No.
they asked for them to be like that.
They were established.
We're a third of the district, right? So it's not equal. If it was apples and apples, yeah, that would make some sense. But they're far larger with a far larger budget than we are, and whatnot on that.
isn't that right, Tracy?
You better believe we're going to ask.
There's nothing wrong with asking, right?
I do think the bottom line is we are not out money. EDC is not out money. We're not out money.
And
but
that
the
was
fact that it had to.
That was a big part of it in my estimation. I mean, the same thing went with the bus, right? As a group, they didn't want to, you know, they didn't like the idea of paying for the bus, and we talked and you know, sort of warmed down to some degree, and like, well, okay, well, you know, we'll do it this year, but we're going to relook at this, and it's just a difference in sort of philosophy. So there are times when it's gone the other way too. I just want to make that clear. And with that, I'll make a motion to extend the fees for this development due, you know, mainly to the pandemic situation we've been in when it was beyond his control. And that's really all the council needs to do.
The performance agreement is revised.
And adopt the performance agreement as revised, which is the document that changed the dates.
My understanding is you want to pay the fees.
And pay the, yeah, I mean, they're already, that's a DDC thing. That was approved, to pay the additional fees. So I don't think the council has to act on that.
I'm
You want the
confused.
EDC
So EDC has already paid the initial fees,
Right.
which was almost $7,000.
Right. But now
EDC is going to pay the additional roughly $1,000 for the additional fee.
Right.
for the gas tank.
For the island area.
Yeah,
right. That's been approved. That'll happen. That's a hard cost. You know, it's looked at as more of a hard cost because it's a new thing. So that's But the council doesn't need to act on that. But my knowledge, the council only needs to act on the date change in the modified agreement, which contains...
Yeah, but what's in the modified agreement, which that 8,000 is in the modified agreement.
So we're asking to, so we're making a motion to extend the permit.
Yes.
And I do think maybe there's, for clarification, there's an additional fee that I think Marvin indicated is a part of the modified
It
agreement.
is a part of it.
So, and I do think if there's a contract and agreement, I do think council needs to give approval to that as well.
Well, also, the EDC can't approve or disapprove the permit. That happens by staff. We're dealing with the different fees.
The council, though, was my understanding, they don't have the authority to extend the permit without payment, and that's what the council is needed to do. So the motion was to approve the modified agreement, which includes the dates as part of it, but specifically calling out the extension of the dates. For no fee.
And that covers the additional fees that EDC approved for the new permit, and it covers the city essentially waiving the fees, right?
Yes.
Your motion.
Perfect.
Clarification, your motion is including the extra fees to extend the permit, or it does not?
So, the original fees were approximately $7,000.
Okay.
Those have expired,
Right.
okay? So, instead of paying for those again, the EDC's decision was to ask the council to extend the dates for those. And then the EDC said, we were told there's going to be more fees for more permits. So the EDC said, well, we want to pay for those. So I don't think the council acts on that. I don't see how the council has anything to do with that. But EDC is, once those permits are pulled, the EDC will pay for those, reimburse the general fund.
The only reason, Steve, is because it's a performance agreement that requires council action.
Okay. It's part of the overall agreement which the
Yes.
council's approving. So, but that's not an extension, that'll be the original permit period, because they haven't been pulled yet.
Right.
I'm trying to get dollars.
So are we,
What we've already paid, what we talked about last night was that we weren't going to pay any more of but we would pay for the gas pump, which was part of the,
Right.
but that was one of the.
That would have been paid before,
Anything
they
else?
weren't pulled before. That piece was not pulled.
Okay.
So, I don't know that the EDC even needed to take action, because they'd already approved up to $8,000 to $10,000 for fees, and they hadn't used it all. But still, there was a specific motion to approve.
I'm just not in agreement to go over the 10-8 or whatever.
Right, it's not.
Okay.
Nothing's going over that.
I understand.
Nothing's going over.
Yeah, it actually says the maximum will be $8,026.
Which is the additional amount plus the gas tax.
Yeah.
And it does not include reimbursing the city, because the motion includes the city waiving permit fees.
Yeah.
The extension.
Okay.
If that's your motion, then I second.
Yes.
I have a motion and a second to approve the modified economic development and performance agreement with the inclusion of the additional gas tanks money. What did you say that's not to exceed, Martin?
$8,026.25.
$8,026.25, and to waive the additional permit fees for the extension of the permits that have not happened yet. Do we have any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Move to item number 9, which is to discussion and/or action on request by Jesse Rodriguez to sell secondhand used merchandise at Kelly's Resale Boutique located at 1111B Roberts Cutoff, not currently permitted in the zoning ordinance. And it's always odd for me to read the name Jesse Rodriguez, because I know him as Officer Rodriguez. Because the first time I was ever in this building for municipal court in freshman year was because he wrote me a ticket for fighting, so.
oh,
Did you win.
Is that gonna count against me?
No, you seriously.